There was a boy only 15 years old, living in a small Indian town. On the outside, he looked just like everyone else. Black hair, thin frame, simple school uniform. But inside, he carried a fear so big, it almost controlled his life. That fear was speaking. Whenever the teacher asked him to read in class, his hands would tremble, his voice would shake, and his classmates would laugh. Even when he knew the answer, he stayed silent. He thought to himself, "It's better to stay quiet than to embarrass myself." Slowly, he began to avoid friends, school events, and even family gatherings. His father worried. If he cannot speak, how will he survive in this world? But the boy, he just hid behind silence. One day, something happened that changed everything. At his school, there was an annual storytelling competition. All students had to participate. When the boy's turn came, he stood on stage, but not a single word came out. The whole hall filled with laughter. His eyes filled with tears as he ran off the stage. That night, he locked himself in his room and cried. For hours, he thought, "Why am I like this? Why can't I be like others?" But then, his mother came in quietly. She sat beside him and whispered, "Beta, you don't need to speak like everyone else. You just need to speak like you. Even if your voice shakes, speak. Even if people laugh, speak. Your silence will never tell the world who you really are." Those words hit him like lightning. From that night, he made a decision. He picked up a mirror, stood in front of it, and started practicing. At first, he could only say one line. His voice cracked, his eyes watered, but he didn't stop. The next day, he tried 2 lines, then 3. Slowly, his fear began to shrink. Weeks turned into months. Every evening, he stood in front of that mirror, speaking to his reflection as if it were the whole world. When his hands shook, he gripped them tighter. When his voice broke, he raised it again. He started reading newspapers out loud, narrating stories to himself, even practicing speeches late at night when the whole house slept. But the real test came when his teacher announced another competition. This time, the boy's heart pounded. Should I run away again or should I fight? His mother's words echoed in his ears. Even if your voice shakes, speak. So he walked onto the stage again. His legs were weak. Sweat dripped down his forehead, but he took a deep breath and began. At first, his voice trembled. Some kids giggled. But instead of running, he paused, smiled, and continued. This time, he didn't try to be perfect. He just spoke his truth. And something magical happened. People listened. They clapped. For the first time in his life, he wasn't the boy who failed on stage. He was the boy who tried and succeeded. That single moment gave him courage. From then on, he joined debates, storytelling events, and even volunteered to host small programs. Each time his confidence grew, his words became stronger, his delivery sharper. By the time he was 20, he was speaking in front of hundreds. By 25, he was invited to international conferences. And by 30, the boy who once couldn't say a single word in class had become a world-famous motivational speaker, inspiring millions with his voice. His message was simple. Don't wait for fear to disappear. Speak, even if your voice shakes. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Moral of the story. This story reminds us that fear is only powerful if we allow it to control us. The boy was not born confident. He built his confidence step by step, through practice and courage. So if you are afraid of something, speaking, failing, or even starting, remember, it's okay to be scared. But don't let fear silence your dreams. Take the first step. Speak your truth. Your voice has the power to change your life and maybe even the world.